To set up this stupid camera. And can you see my face? It's been a month since I've been on any videos. It's terrible. I mean, I don't want to, something I want to, welcome aboard. Welcome to my channel. You guys are awesome. That's the first thing I must say to you guys, because I appreciate you guys so much. Hi, Jesse. How are you, guy? Miss you guys. Yeah, let me tell you guys why why I haven't been on for such a long time. In Canada, Vancouver, which I'm currently staying here, is that the COVID isn't getting any better. So after spring break, here, let me move this camera a little bit higher. Here we go. Yeah. So after the spring break, the COVID kind of went crazy. And hey, Mr. Mitch, man, how are you doing? Gee, I can see Mount Baker from my home right here. Maybe get a flag or something. I can get my Nikon, that P950, and just say hi to you, man. Welcome aboard, man. It's really been a long, long time. Think about you, man. Yeah, awesome. Crazy Cropsman, hi, how are you doing? Welcome to my live stream. Haven't done one for ages, forever. Yeah, okay, so let's go. Vancouver, Canada. So they say, the Canadians say, well, you don't want to go to the United States, it's really out of control. But for what I've seen, Vancouver, BC has been kind of out of control. There's almost over 2,000 cases a day, and that's pretty serious. And it's just I'm talking about the west, northwest here, okay? And ICUs are running out of room, and all these frontline workers are getting really nervous, because when all this stuff has gone crazy, people are just under lockdown. So now all the restaurants, they won't allow dine-in now. So you can't go in, dine in, and eat. And the really, I hate to complain where I'm living here. It's a great place. I love it. But it's cold, man. You can't, the dine-in, you can't eat inside, but you can dine outside in the patio, right? But it's like 45 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's pretty cold. And when it gets windy and stuff like that, when the food comes out, it's going to be cold pretty soon. So you're not going to enjoy your meal, it's just, that's a sucky thing. And now, over 2,000 cases a day. So they're restricting, can't travel, they don't advise you to travel. And the Whistler Blackcomb Resort, it's one of the top ski resorts in the world, let me tell you. And a few years ago, Aspen Resorts from Colorado, they bought this resort, the managing rights for it. But now, because after spring break, they closed the season. And think about how much loss there is. Think about all the people on the mountain, the money they invested, the huge high-speed chairlifts, gondolas, all that. They just say, screw it, we're going to shut the whole mountain down. And a lot of people say it's a political thing, because here, downtown Vancouver, the local mountains, for example, like Cypress, Grouse Mountain, and Seymour, they're still open. But the deal is, like Grouse Mountain, you have to make a reservation to book, so they have a crowd control. But as far as I'm concerned, those mountains are still open. So, it's really bad, because in Whistler, like in Aspen, they have a village selling all these fancy restaurants, shops, and everything. Those guys are going to suffer so bad, man. That's going to be, Aspen Group, they're going to suffer. There's so much money, being lost. Yeah, so so here I am. And another thing is, I'm staying here at this house, and it's cold, right? So we have floor, radiant heating, which is awesome. I love it. And it doesn't dry you up pretty bad. And the thing is, the windows are really, I close the windows and keep them closed. And I spend my time at home, a lot of times I avoid going out, right? And I haven't been getting enough fresh air. So last week or just a few days, I had it for like 4 days. I couldn't stand up. It's like I'm feeling dizzy, nauseated, and I was just going like that. I want to, like at nighttime when I want to take a whiz. I mean, I'm like a senior, man. I had to hold the walls just to support myself. So I decided, I have to turn on the ventilation system because I didn't even think about the ventilation. I just had an air purifier. I got one from Costco, and I thought that was it, but it wasn't in fresh air. So in the afternoon, I tend to, when it's a little bit warmer, open the windows, stuff and like that. So, and by the way, Hong Kong, where I usually live, it's 90 degrees Fahrenheit there now. Yeah, you need to have your air conditioning on, but here it's free air conditioning because it's Canada. Okay, so that's the situation here in British Columbia, and borders aren't still open, so that really sucks. My credit cards, this time they expire, and my friend sent, from Los Angeles, they sent me the credit card. So like Federal Express, something like DHL, it costs like $50 to send it to me, and it takes 2 weeks. So that really really sucks. It's a credit card and they have to go through customs and all that, and they have to decide, do you have to pay duty, do you have to pay tax? So it's really being inconvenient, and I can't go down or do anything. So it's really frustrating. Oh yeah, man. So Manila is awesome. So you're still on a lockdown, right? Yeah, man. I'm still waiting for, one of my patrons are here, and we had a really long conversation. He's an awesome guy. And, for all my patrons, I do write them personal letters, personal messages. And sometimes I find interesting stuff and I send it to them just as a huge thank you for supporting my channel. Yeah, so oh man, yeah. So you're in a huge lockdown. That really sucks. Yeah, you sent me that article, and the area you were sitting living in, the city that was one of the heaviest COVID places affected. Yeah, Taiwan is awesome too. Yeah, nice weather. Canada, I haven't been staying here for so long in my whole entire life. I mean, I'm not bragging, but this is the truth. And I am long due to go back because there's a lot of always documents have to go Hong Kong and Canada that I have to sign. But I found out, let me tell you something very interesting. These documents have to send over DHL, and I have to send it back, and it's going to cost a Canadian $100, like $80 US, okay? And it's ridiculous because everything has to be rushed, mailed for signatures, because you have to report your taxes and company register. You have to renew all these, your license and all that stuff. But try to go to Chinatown or some Asian place, really Asian place, okay? It doesn't really necessarily have to look nice. And plus, that place I went to is Crystal Mall. That's actually my daughter's one of her favorite malls because she can eat all this Hong Kong food, and Taiwanese fried chicken, have Shanghai dumplings, handmade, and the prices are very reasonable. But you can go, there's a pharmacy there, and you can ship express mail for half the price. So what they do, they will find out who has vacant cargo. So they will put you on the list. So every Wednesday, beginning of the week, you send them, and then when they find whichever plane's leaving, and they can find a really low price. So for example, it costs $80 US. I can send it for about $35. So that's a really awesome savings. Yeah, and yeah, man. Yeah, crazy cropsman. In Manila, the weather is always awesome, man, but cold, it's really cold. And the thing is, if your car is outside and it's frozen, and all that, your windshield is all frozen over and your door's stuck. That's not a good feeling. And some idiots would pour boiling water on the windscreen so it would just go crack, 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 right? I've seen a lot of guys in college, they did that kind of stuff. It was amazing. They didn't really think about, the boiling water. So, okay, so this is my life. And let's go to Hong Kong right now. So the topic today is COVID ended in Hong Kong. I can say they've done really, really well. But as one of my awesome Patreons, he's from Manila, there is a big problem because in Manila, the cases are really high. And there's a lot of DH. DH means domestic helpers. So if you, just in case you didn't know, they work in Hong Kong as a domestic helper. And they usually work in 2 years contract. After the 2 years, they get to fly back, have a holiday with their family and stuff like that. Excuse me. But more now, the cases in Hong Kong is maybe just 1 or 2 cases a day maximum, which I'm really proud of. But they just right now on the news, I'm just trying to keep as updated as possible. Just as we are speaking, they just announced more than 40% of the COVID coming to Hong Kong is from Manila or the Philippines, and that's from COVID. So they obviously have to be quarantined, and they are working with the Filipino government over there to try to get a COVID shot, so they will get vaccinated before they get on a plane to come to Hong Kong or something like that. So they are working on this COVID vaccine passport. So what they want, because since there's such a high number, like over 40% of the Pinays are coming to Hong Kong are carrying the COVID virus. So they are working with the agents, the employment agency, to have them vaccinated before they come to Hong Kong. And all these cases so far the virus hasn't spread out to the city, which is really good. And just in case you guys didn't know, in the whole world, in the globe right now, in the whole world, Hong Kong has the toughest quarantine thing in the world. 21 days, as one of my subscribers asked me, and Mr. NB High. Sorry about the late reply, but I just want to go in steps so it builds up to the story. So 21 days, that's one of the main reasons I'm not going back to Hong Kong, because I should have been gone like 2 months. But I'm just waiting for something, like if you get a vaccine shot, so you can get on a vaccine passport or something like that, and all you do maybe 7 days. This is something that I wish, but Hong Kong has the most stringent COVID quarantine right now. So what goes on is, when you arrive at the airport, they take you to the expo center. So that's right next to the airport, and they have you tested. And after they have you tested, now it takes only 2-3 hours, okay, for you to test positive or negative. So after that, all these government hotels, you already have to book and pay a deposit on it, okay? So they have all these special buses with people in suits and all that, the PPE, right, Jess? The PPE, and will take you directly to that hotel. So you would be in your room, basically, for 21 days. Let me tell you, I don't... does Hong Kong require Sinovac vaccine? If you can answer. Yeah, and that's a political thing. And Sinovac is the better vaccine, but they had a contamination on the packaging, so they stopped that. But the other one is from China. The BioNTech, I think. The BioNTech is from Germany, I think. But both of them had issues. But the Chinese vaccine I think more than 10 people have died from that vaccine. Before they were offering these vaccines to seniors, everybody was just lining up, booking and doing everything just to get on the bandwagon to get vaccinated as soon as possible so they can be safe. But that was the case was there was a high number of people getting dying from it. So they would last for 2 or 3 days and they'll die at home or something like that, or they'll they call 911 and go to hospital and die there. And after that, nobody lined up for the Chinese the vaccine. So that was it. So everybody was going to the I think the Sino what is it called? I'm not even too good on all these vaccines. Sinovac, right? Yeah, the Sinovac. So after that, the Sinovac, they had problems because they said the packaging was affecting the medicine inside the vaccine. So they stopped that too. So that was a big chaotic thing. And of course, the government would deny, saying that, oh, you take the Chinese vaccine, it's all right. It's just nothing to do with they taking they died from some other illness. It's nothing to do with the vaccines. Come and get infected, and then play the dice. You might die from it. So that has been still a major issue. But now they're doing something that it's really bad. Is they are thinking of doing it, but a lot of people are fighting and resisting. Is they're going to do a vaccination passport. So I think if you take that China vaccine, you can go to mainland China and come back. Both ways, you won't have to quarantine. Because right now, Hong Kong, somehow I feel, okay, my personal feelings is Hong Kong is being punished by mainland China. Okay, Hong Kong used to be a British colony. Macau used to be a Portuguese colony, but the Macanese are really obedient. They listen to the government. The reason they don't have any political, arguing or anything, because they get handouts. Every year they get handouts like $2,000 US every year, twice or something like that. So government gives them a lot of money. So because Macau is only like 500,000 people plus, there's not much people in Macau. It's just so small, that place. So for Macanese to go to mainland China, they can travel freely with or without the vaccine. Okay, but Hong Kong people, the Hong Kongers, cannot go to mainland China without a 14-day quarantine at a government-appointed facility, hotel. And that's a really sucky deal. But somehow, if you go through that quarantine, and then you have to get COVID tested in Hong Kong, and then you go to mainland China to quarantine for 14 days. So after that, I think you have to go for a COVID test again, but you can come back to Hong Kong without being quarantined. And in Hong Kong now, you can't even go to Macau. Doesn't matter whatever, you're banned from traveling from Hong Kong to Macau. So that's really caused a lot of inconvenience for the Hong Kong people. If the Hong Kong people wanted to go to Macau, they have to go to China for this 14-day quarantine. And then after, they'll get a WeChat or something approval thing. So wherever they go, they have to beep, 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 like report, whatever. So if somebody was infected, they'll be called upon to isolate or something like that. So they can go from mainland China to Macau in and out, no problem. So I feel Hong Kong is being punished in a way for, saying, oh, you guys want freedom, you guys want this and that. Okay, so you guys are free, but please don't come to China or Macau. So that's what I feel, it's really sad. Okay, thank you very much, Murph. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for the information, because I'm clueless, okay? But I know sometimes they say it in the Chinese name. So I know the Chinese vaccine is called Fo Hing in Cantonese, Fo Hing. And the other one is, I think it's by Pfizer or something like that. Yeah, so So now nobody's lining up for those vaccines. So it's a lot of space. Anybody wants to go to in the future, they'll say, "Oh, you want to go to China without quarantine? Okay, come take this Chinese vaccine." Not me, okay. I'd rather quarantine for 14 days. Okay, so let's talk about the quarantining in Hong Kong. So once you get tested, it takes like an hour now. It's really fast, and then you get to these government-appointed hotel. But I think it's a scam because all these hotels are set by the government. You have no choice what hotels you have to go, and they're really, really expensive because 20 days, and you have to pay for all the food. So my brother was quarantining. He was here with me, but he had to go back for work. He had tons of meetings, so he had to go back, stay in a hotel. So he paid around 5,000 US for 21 days, and it includes the food. And I think the government is working with the hotel association and working now. The new thing is working with the airline catering food services, because as you probably know, those planes aren't flying much, right? So all these food catering for the airlines has come to a complete stop. So what they are doing is the money paid for the hotel and the food, they are going purchasing food like the government quote unquote recommends you buying from these air caterers. So these foods get shipped to the hotels and they just get reheated and they serve it to you. But I think I did it on my live last time. The omelet was as big as a gyoza, and the tray, you guys had airplane food. It's about this big. So you get an omelet that is like a gyoza. You get one sausage is about this. Maybe you call it a cocktail sausage, and then maybe just have a slice of tomato and a piece of toast, and that was your breakfast. And he was just so upset, because he was still hungry after eating. And so everything you had to order additional, you have to pay additional money to go and get your own food, and which is a complete scam. And you have to pay for that food. And my son is still in Hong Kong, so we are separated for quite a few months already. Luckily, he's doing online Zoom for his college, which is good. His exams, and he's got help, and Crazy Cropson, there's he's doing accounting now, and there's a site, and he looks for these Filipino teachers, and they have a private tutoring over Zoom because some things he doesn't know, and he pays like $15 for an hour for a test lesson. So if they can communicate and he can learn from this Pinoy guy, he would buy a course. So it would be like 6 lessons in a course. So he's doing that. So he has a Zoom call with a tutor in Philippines, which is awesome. So now, the kids, they don't necessarily have to have a tutor locally, right? And let me tell you, since we're talking about the tutor in Hong Kong, he had a big essay he had to do, and then he's desperate. He doesn't know anybody, so he's just chasing the internet looking for it, and he didn't really tell me about it. And he had this term paper he had to submit. He's only got 1 week, and he's panicking. He doesn't know what to do, and he pays almost $1,000 US to teach him how to do this paper. And that teacher says, "Oh, I'm a lawyer, I'm a certified lawyer, licensed, blah 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 blah. I'll help you do this. If I don't help you, you're gonna fail. You have to do your course again. You're not gonna advance. You'll be forever stuck. It's saying things that scaring you, and that's really low, man. And the thing is, they helped my son do this, assist him on this essay, and he only got a C. So that's a really sucky deal. So this tutoring thing, you guys, I forgot the name of it, but you can find international tutors around the world, which is good. So Hong Kong, I think the COVID, and another thing is, you probably heard about all these variant COVID cases. that are coming from, like in North America, a lot coming from Brazil, and these are the variants of the COVID, and it infects people a lot faster than normal, and especially if old folks, that's really bad. And the other thing is, this has been, really terrible. So Murph, yes, Pfizer is American brand. Moderna, I'm not sure. I think it's European, German, or something. I believe that is another brand from US. From my experience, knowledge, I believe Pfizer brand has at least issues. Yeah, I believe if I was going to take it, I'll take the Pfizer. And there's J&J too, right? Johnson & Johnson. Yeah, Moderna. Yeah. So I think, for me, I think Pfizer is the most confident. You guys, I don't know. You guys going to get, all these vaccines, I mean, and it's been politicized. So that's the bad thing, is it's all to do with politics. And it's so sad for me to see, China's just being surrounded and being attacked from all centers of all walks of life, which is sad. Yeah. Yeah, the J&J sounds good too. Oh, that's great. You guys have more options. So I think the future, guys, if you want to go somewhere or travel, I think you have to be vaccinated. So the thing is, the political thing is, which country or wherever you want to go to, they would recognize what vaccine you're taking, right? So I'm not going to China for no quarantine because of the Chinese vaccine, okay? Because I don't want to die. You still want to see my face. I'm not against China, okay, but I see statistics, okay, and they're not good. And okay, yesterday there was one fresh news that made me really laugh. I mean, I shouldn't have laughed, but there's a white guy, Caucasian guy in Hong Kong, and he booked for the American one, which was the Sinovac. Okay, he booked for the Sinovac, and he went to the wrong center. Okay, but he just said, "Well, this is Sinovac," and the nurse and the medical people just said, "Yeah," because they probably didn't speak too much English, right? And then after that, he just confirmed it. Yeah, they confirmed. Yeah, and they gave him the Chinese vaccine. Yeah, that was so hilarious. And this guy's complaining, "Hey, what the hell? What the F is going on, man? I wanted the Pfizer vaccine or the Sinovac, but I didn't. Why did you give me the Chinese vaccine?" And he didn't know until after he got a shot, and the medical team told, "Oh, we gave you the wrong injection." Well, you guys think about that one. That's awful, man. That's terrible. Oh, so the okay. So they gave him the Sinovac vaccine. So that is, oh man. It's so weird, you never know. You get this stupid vaccine and you get the wrong dose and you die over it, and it's totally not worth it. Yeah, it's man, this is assassination, if I can say. So yeah, I hope they don't politicize this kind of BS, like visa or vaccine passports. Okay, so let's move on and talk about the restrictions in Hong Kong. So in Hong Kong, there is no variant of the COVID-19, which is awesome. And today, just as now, they were boasting, saying, "Oh, Hong Kong, we have the most strict quarantine for 21 days." And I think it's good in a way, but to hear people doing it, but it's not good in a way if I have to do it, right? Okay. And by the way, my brother, he was so pissed. My son, works at McDonald's, and he was really hungry in the morning. He got 2 bacon Big Macs, 2 cheese fish fillet, and 2 apple pies for his lunch. And that was really fulfilling for for my brother. He was so happy to see. Oh man, Crazy Craftsman, thank you so much, man. Thank you. Stay safe, brother. Yeah, I hope I can see you in the Philippines sometime in Manila. And let's talk about change on the subject since you've been so awesome, man. Um, yeah, today my nanny took out 3 teeth, and it's a Filipino dentist, and he's a pretty awesome guy. It's she just because I'm helping her get a visa, so she's just getting her visa. She doesn't have healthcare or anything, so it's out of the pocket, and took out 3 teeth from the back. Think about how painful that is. And the Filipino guy, originally it's like 650 Canadian. Okay, we'll give you 550, give you $100 discount, which is awesome, man. Yeah, so I might even bring my daughter to the Filipino dentist just to clean the teeth. Usually, you can. I asked today for the implants because she has 3 teeth gone right on the top here, and you have to get implants or something because the teeth will shift, right? So here, one implant is around $1,400 Canadian, so it's around $1,100 US per implant. So that's times 3. So if she did that in mainland China, like if I took her to Shenzhen, it would cost a quarter of the price. And that's how cheap it is because she had other implants. I took her to China and she went there, and it's really cheap dental work. I don't know in North America, is it good cheap if you go down to Mexico, the border, to get your teeth done? But I know in North America, it's pretty expensive. Yeah, I heard my name, but my dog is having puppies, so I'm in and out. Okay, sure, man. Congratulations on the little pups. But yeah, some guys would love to keep, have a new pups. Here, you can't even all the pet stores in Canada. You're not allowed to sell pets retail. Like PetSmart, you can't buy any pets now, like dogs, cats, and all these. But you can still buy reptiles and goldfish and stuff like that. Just Canada, and living longer in Canada, you just have to get used to. I love Canada, as I said, but there's some brands that you were used to getting, like you want to get the Goober, with the peanut butter jelly. You can't get it here. The Skippy peanut butter, you can't get it here. There are a lot of things that I was brought up, buying that you can't get it here. So it's something I have to get used to because before I would just go down like 3 times a week. It takes like 40 minutes to the border. It's really close. And I'll just go to Winco and just get all my stuff and come back here. But now the border is closed, which that's a sucky deal. Crazy Crossman just went to the dentist here. Oh yeah, the wide angle X-rays, 2 fillings and cleaning for my wife was. Oh man, that's freaking cheap. That's a good deal, man. Yeah, awesome. And this Filipino guy said, before we take your teeth out, I am going to give you an 8-minute lecture. So he really gave her a lecture explaining the blood vessels, your teeth has an enamel, has veins, it pumps to your heart. And when it gets rotten and stuff like it, it affect your heart, you can get a heart attack, something, it's all these relations. And you have plaque build up, you have to clean your teeth properly. And in the mornings, when you brush your teeth, why there's blood coming out, because there's plaque. So that's, this doctor is pretty awesome. Wow, Crazy Crossman. That's really cheap, man. That's a really good deal. So if I can go to China, I can do the dental work in the Philippines, right? That's awesome. Okay, so let's go back to Hong Kong. So last weekend, so Easter weekend. So Hong Kong, the Ocean Park, I did a video on that, and Disneyland, they were all fully open. So they were so crowded and all that. But so far now, there weren't reported cases. So the amusement parks are open now. Restaurants, they still only allow 4 people to dine in on one table, and they must close at 10 p.m. The karaoke, saunas, like billiards rooms, snooker rooms, are still and the bars, most importantly, aren't allowed to operate, so they're still closed. But so far today was one of the most positive things I heard from Hong Kong, the Hong Kong news. Just in case you guys didn't know, in China, you can buy these boxes so you can see channels around the world, and it's really awesome. But you must have a good internet connection. Yeah, and it's all because you can just keep track. And even in the Philippines, you can watch the Filipino channels, or you can watch American channels. You can watch Fox News. You can watch CNN. So you can watch that wherever you have an internet connection. And talking about internet connection, I'm looking at that Starlink. What do you think about that? The SpaceX, they're building the satellite, $100 for like unlimited data, and the speed is pretty reasonable. I can't say it's fast, okay? Because in Hong Kong, I almost get 1 gig of download speeds, 1 gig. So that's really fast. So Hong Kong, no Brazilian variant, no variants, so which is good. So I hope Hong Kong, I'm just waiting every day. I'm just so anxious to wait, hoping that the quarantine won't be such a bish, because it just sucks. So far there isn't. Perry Ismail, welcome to my channel. Long time no see. So far, last week there was still ambush lockdown. They did that in Causeway Bay, and they even did some in the mid levels, and they did one in Sheung Wan. So it's kind of a random thing, but now, since the COVID numbers are really low, like maybe just one guy gets infected or two maximum. So the ambush lockdown has pretty much died off, but it's really terrifying. Did you see my video last time? They'll just run down the police with these banners and just tape off the thing. And when you in that line, or if you're in a retail store or anything, that you can't go home, you'll be in your store for like 24 hours, and you must be tested for COVID. And if you had COVID, you had to be, you have to move your butt to, you have to bend over, okay, and that's how they swab you now. You know what I mean? The anal testing, they say that's the most accurate. So. And if you test positive, you have to go to the government-appointed center. But I think those are free, but it's not very nice. Oh, cool, Jess, you have a 1 gig internet. Yeah, but Starlink, it's awesome. Think about having a Starlink on top of your RV. Wouldn't that be nice? Going in the middle of nowhere, and then you still have a Starlink. So you guys, I'm sorry, it's been such a long time because there's so much happening, but I just always wanted to get over, and I was kind of busy because I got one of my cars shipped over from Los Angeles, and it's a hydrogen car, fuel cell car, which is awesome, but there's nothing compared to a Tesla, okay? Teslas are really techy, okay? But this Toyota seems like a prototype you're driving. It's pretty cool, but it seems like, because it brings memories back from a Prius, because when the second generation Prius, my father got a Prius, and he would always come by and pick my son up and go out to church, so that was the exact feeling when I got into this Toyota. But except when you accelerate, you don't hear the motor kick in, the engine, you would just hear weird noise coming out. So it's like a scientific experiment. And right here I'm living, there's only 3 hydrogen filling stations. So this car is pretty much stuck here in the city. So if I want to go back to Los Angeles, I have to find somebody just to ship it back down there. In Los Angeles, I think there's 50 hydrogen station, and hydrogen I think it's pretty good, but it's 700 bar, so it's really high pressure. But I think between Tesla and the hydrogen cars, I don't miss the charger, okay? Because the charger really sucks. You have to always watch your battery. It's not saying that, oh, like my Tesla is in Hong Kong, and then I can just leave in a parking lot. You can't. Like every couple of weeks, you have to get somebody to check the level, and you have to charge it back up to a certain percentage to maintain that battery. So that's one of the sucky things. And when the Tesla can drive to mainland China, and sometimes you have low battery and you don't know where the hell you are, and you go to some really factory place, with dirt roads, and go charge, and you have to wait for at least an hour, and that's a really sucky deal. Okay, but for a fuel cell car, you just use it like a gas pump, and it pumps quicker than the gas, gassing up your car. So that's one of the things I really like about that. Oh yeah, you saw my shorts. Yeah, in the stories nowadays, I try to use more, just to keep it, keep in touch with you guys. Just tell you what's going on my stories. So yeah, it's good that you guys are watching it. Welcome, Stuck in Florida. Yeah, so Stuck in Florida, welcome aboard. Thanks for watching my channel. So if you guys have any questions for me, pop it up. And now, let's come back to Vancouver, Canada. I can pretty much say in the whole North America, Vancouver has one of the best Chinese food around the whole North America. I can pretty confidently say it. And even sometimes, like if you have dim sum, it's even better than Hong Kong, because they'll give you a really huge shrimp in a hagao, or the shrimp siu mai. They have a lot of ingredients, really big. In Hong Kong, it's a really, really small portion. And here you get a huge portion. And since there's a lockdown, no dining in, and they have like 20%, 30% discounts for you to take away. And something, it was so funny. Some of these bosses are from Guangzhou, okay, mainland China, and they just say, "Oh, this lockdown is BS. I'd rather be in this is worse than the communist Chinese, the communists." And I told them, why? Because they say, "Oh, we're going to lock down right, at nighttime. And what happens to our seafood? What happens to all the food we ordered stocked in? It's going to be spoiled. We can't get rid of because the seafood doesn't last long in our tanks, and the Alaskan crabs, the Boston lobsters and stuff like that." Oh, it's just complaining. And also it's funny. He thought, the communists wasn't as bad as the Canadian government. So that was a very interesting comment that I heard from these restaurant owners. Yeah, China. Yeah, Mr. Mitch. Seattle. Actually, in Seattle, the only Chinese food I had with my kids is Panda Express. That's about it. But they love it, and I love the orange chicken. But that's the American type, right? Crazy Crossman. Is the Chinese food there really Chinese food, or like American Chinese? Actually, in Vancouver, Canada, when you go to a Chinese restaurant, you don't even have fortune cookies. They don't even give you fortune cookies. They rarely have some just behind the counter to give to some tourists or something like that. And the food, you can't even order chop suey or, the egg rolls. You can't. I haven't eaten an egg roll in Vancouver, believe it or not, never. You only get the proper the spring roll with the shrimp inside, or the vegetable spring roll. That's how proper this Chinese food is. And because in Vancouver, that was one of the biggest migration from Hong Kong before 1997. So a lot of Hong Kong people went to Richmond and established, bought a house and made business here. So a lot of cooks from Hong Kong, famous cooks, they came over and opened restaurants. So now still, I think Cantonese food here is the dominance here. And later on, like these past 10 years, the mainland Chinese has been coming to Vancouver with cases of cash, of course, but they have their Sichuan, with all the chili and the hot pot. Now they're having a little bit more variety of Chinese food. So I hope that answers your question, Gracie Krotman. Yeah. And Mr. Mitch, a lot of, some of my relatives live in Seattle and they drive to Richmond. So when you go from Blaine to Richmond, that's less than half an hour's drive, and they come in grocery shop and they buy the Asian vegetables, Asian ingredients, spices, and stuff like that. But when you go back with Washington plates and you're Asian, usually the border control would look what you bought from the groceries and probably throw out your veggies. They say they're parasites and stuff like that, because a lot of those veggies they don't allow to import. So that's one of the things I found out. Yeah, tea, they have pretty good tea too. And I'm drinking tea today. Here's I don't know. This place is called Murchie's, I think. And this is plastic. It's plastic inside, but it's glass inside. So I was told by my Chinese relatives from Guangzhou, okay, that if you drink Chinese tea, never drink it from a stainless steel vacuum mug, okay, because it creates some chemical thing that it's not good for you. So the best is just use a glass container to drink tea. So what this is a plastic outside and inside is glass. So when you make, this is pu'er tea, Chinese tea. So this is one of the proper tea, what do you call it? It's tea canisters or tea. I don't know what that word is. Cheers. Yeah, glass only. So it's inside is glass. Here. Are we focusing? So inside is glass and this is plastic. Anyway, that's it. And it does a pretty good job. Decanister, yeah. Excuse my Chinglish. And let's talk a little about this being Asian nowadays and the Asian hate thing. If you guys want to hear, you've probably seen my video for over almost a year ago that I was verbally assaulted from a doctor here in Vancouver. They said, "You people come here, go back to your country. Because of you coming here, my friends are gonna die. Go home, you effing Asian." That's what they told me. Yeah, Crazy Craftsman. Oh, your tea, man. 20-year-old pu'er. Any tips? Yeah, the pu'er tea usually comes in a round thing. But before you break it and put it in, you have to wash that tea with hot water. So you put it in the hot water and just soak the first round to make it soft, and you throw away that water. So that's how you do it. And then when the tea leaves are soft, and then you put it in your cup or the teapot. So that's what I learned from the pu'er tea. You have to wash the tea, especially for pu'er, because it's so old and it's been on the shelf and whatever. Yes, Mr. Mitchell was on my bicycle. Yep. My e-bike can go 35 miles an hour. So he was on a racing bike with shaved legs and the shaved ass. Thought he was pretty slick until I just chased after him. So he changed his tone, and he had the guts to tell me that he was a doctor. That was, yeah, that was effed up, super effed up. But nowadays, I try to make it as sense of humor or like a joke to relieve the tension, because believe it or not, you hear a lot of news of all this hate and all that in the States, but actually, if you count the population, the proportional population of Asians here, in Vancouver has the highest rate of Asian, what do you call that? Asian hate, right? That's here they have the highest rate in the whole North America in Vancouver. You can look it up because I was shocked to see that. So here they have the highest rate in the population, the percentage wise. Yeah, it's stuck in Florida. Yeah, some a-holes they, they're like that, man. Actually, when I was a kid in Australia, I wasn't proud to be Asian. Seriously, I wasn't proud. I said, why do you have to be Asian? And that because I would get attacked every single day in Australia in a cadet school, guys. So that was the sucky deal. But now, of course, I'm proud to it. I've grown up, thought about it, and so this it's really sad. But anyways, let's talk about me trying to put some humor in that. So when people come to you talk, and you would know that they don't like you, or just want to get away, because you can, when everybody's wearing this mask, and when they look at you and they purposely move back like that, and you just say, what the F, but sometimes I try to, just trying to say, oh yeah, we're the Asian, we got the flu, better stay away, ha 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 ha, just trying to diffuse the tense thing, I said, don't worry, I don't have the kung flu, something like that, and they laugh it off, and it's sad in a way, but I try to diffuse that people are, they're afraid. You can't blame those guys. They when they think Asian, they think virus. And my friend Crazy Cropsman, think about the Filipinos getting attacked. They have nothing to do with the COVID in the Philippines. See, and they get attacked. Yeah, I'm proud. I love Chinese food, but not as much as my wife. So when I cook pasta, I cook pizza, and sometimes I cook orange chicken, sweet and sour pork, like lemon chicken or compo chicken or General Tso's chicken. She would get really pissed off. She would just say, I'm throwing down. I'm not eating. I'm gonna eat myself. Go out and eat. That's how pissed. She's really Asian thing, like if I make some cream soup or cream of asparagus chicken noodle soup, she won't really enjoy it. She likes the Chinese, with the fresh chicken and with the herbs, Chinese herbs, and she would really enjoy having that soup. So we have kind of a gap, because I was brought up in the States, and she was in a really typical traditional Chinese family. And she is the generation that the dad doesn't believe in a daughter. And her father was really loaded, but in the will, she got nothing because she was simply the girl. So that's how this is the sad truth, but this is how it works. But all that money went to the brothers. And guess what happened to all that money? Okay, have a guess. So that's how this works. And by the way, guys, give me a like, drop a like. I appreciate it. I only have 4 likes. It's a bit little. Drop in like. And if you like food, I show a lot of food I eat and the food I cook. Check out my Instagram and come to my Facebook. Give me a like. I really appreciate it. I apologize. Just when I was, just start. Oh, I got some likes. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you. And always, Jess, you are always readily available. Today was kind of, in the sudden thing that I came up with live. I always wanted to come, but today is a good day because of I think Hong Kong has pretty much gotten rid of. Thank you. Stuck in Florida. Appreciate it. How's this focusing? Is it good? This camera? Not really good though. Yeah, sometimes I'm just trying to get optimum video quality and my voice. And I'm using this mic here. It's a Zoom mic from Japan. Can you see it, guys? It's a pretty good. It's a stereo microphone. So if you guys have watching on the big TV, you can see me left and right. Hey, Jess, what's your time over there? Pretty late, right? Yeah, I thought sometimes I want to do it a little bit earlier, like 5, 6 o'clock. But I think you guys might be still working, still, So, but on the East Coast, it's getting pretty late. Yeah. Thank you very much, Jesse, for helping me moderate my channel as always. And you guys are awesome, man. You're a big family to me, and I'm a proud Asian dude. Okay. Um, and the thing is, when you see all these news, actually, let me tell you, you would hear like these few months Asian hate and all that BS, but actually, when I got verbally assaulted last year, there was already this kind of shit is happening in North America, because a lot of people, old people in Chinatown, they weren't exactly getting beaten up, but they would approach them and just take their handbags and steal from them. And that was the start of the whole thing. But it wasn't really reported on the news. You would see it on these local Chinese Asian media, but it's not mainstream. So all this pretty much started last year, And congratulations to that old lady who got punched in the eye. She got that stick and beat the F out of that guy, Did you guys see that? He smashed him really good. And people ask, she's, holding that, say, oh, somebody's bullying me. This guy just came in for no reason, holding her eyes, crying. I think she should be on a stretcher, not that, a-hole, right? Do you agree with me? Thank you, Stuckin, for hanging around here. Crazy Crossman, do you know a good pro Bluetooth mic that will work with an iPhone and MacBook Pro? Don't use a Bluetooth mic. It really sucks. Don't use it. Use a Rode microphone. I think I have a Rode microphone here somewhere. The Rode. What do you call that? I don't have it with me. I don't know where I put it. But a Rode microphone. Get the wireless one. That it runs on 2.4. Here. Have it run on. It runs on 2.4. Runs on the 2.5 gigahertz or whatever you call it. So this is the wireless mic you want to get. Don't get a Bluetooth. This is the older model. So this is the older model. Doesn't focus here. Let me force focuses. Here we go. This is the Rode. So I'm not using a wireless today. So it has a signal. So it's a signal and a battery for 2. And the newer one you can get with 1 transmitter and 2 microphones. So you have 2. This is a microphone. You see the mic on top. So there's you can record this, like clip this. There's a clip, and the other one clips on your camera. But the newer one has 2 microphones, so you can interview people. So this is the microphone I recommend. I had the Sony Bluetooth. But that, sorry, sucks. Yeah. So I hope that you understand about microphones. Or sometimes I just use, if I just have a wired microphone, simply you just get this. But this, and the thing is, you have to be careful what Rode mic you get, or any microphone. It's not focusing here. This you see, there's only 2 black lines. If you use it for your iPhone, you have to get your adapter, obviously, your Lightning adapter, and you have to get, this is TRS, so you have to get it with 3. So it's called TRRS. So this is just the TRS with 2. So get the TRRS that would fit on your iPhone and on your MacBook Pro. But this one only fits on a camera. So I just use this for Osmo or something like that, a camera. So that's why I use this. So I hope I have answered your question, sir. Don't get the Bluetooth. So I hope that answered. Hey, night, Murph. So I'm going to end this stream. It's been an hour. I'll come up with something more interesting to say to you guys. I hope, you guys good. and healthy. And I hope you guys had a great Easter. And see my stories. And Easter Sunday, it was actually Sweeping Tombs Day. So we went to pay our respects to my late parents and all the family there. Yep. So I hope maybe I'll do this live a little bit earlier. And the long weekend's over. Everybody's got to work again, back to reality. And it's reality for me too. And I hope I can. Sorry, I really apologize for you guys, for me not being on for such a long time because there's so much crap happening. Yeah, and I don't really like cold weather. It sucks. Yeah, Mr. Mitch, you're awesome, man. I still can't cross this stupid border. It really sucks. I mean, I can cross there, no problem, but I have to quarantine and do a lot of crap. Come back after quarantine. Now in Canada, I have to quarantine 3 days in a hotel. That's what they say, just to see the COVID result. So that's BS too. So political. So guys, thank you very much. If you haven't subscribe to my channel. Check out my Facebook. Check out my Instagram. Give me a like on my Facebook. Give me a like to my channel. And I really appreciate my little, you guys are family to me, to my small channel. Okay, so 10:36. I'm signing off. And goodbye, guys. See you again. Bye.